Hey guys, this is Rod C. It's time for Ask a Lender. Hey guys, this is Rod C again, coming to you with part 2 of choosing a loan officer or a lender, whatever you want to call it. People call us all kind of things. They call us mortgage loan officers, and they call us lenders, and they call us all kind of different things, right? But at the end of the day, the person that's going to walk you through purchasing your first home, second home, refinancing your house, right? The loan officer, the mortgage loan officer, right? Today, we're going to talk about how to actually choose the loan officer lender that you're going to be working with. Last week we talked about, or last session we talked about, why it's important to talk to the loan officer first. But now we're going to say, now let's talk about exactly, which one is the best one? Because you're going to get calls and people are going to say, well, talk to this person and talk to that person and work with this person, right? But now you get to come up with some ways in order to figure out what is the best person, the best lender that I need to talk to. Because, this is a thing I recognize. For some people, the process of purchasing a home, become mortgage ready, going through a refinance, whatever it is, it could take anywhere from weeks to months to even years. One of the first memories of me being in a mortgage business is helping a lady buy a house, and it was a 2-year process. A lot of things going on in her life. From the time we spoke to the time we were able to close her loan, it was a 2-year process, right? So that's not uncommon, right? But this process that you're about to step into with the loan officer may be 2 or 3 days, maybe a couple months, maybe years. But just recognize and understand that that's why it's important to select the right loan officer, right? Number one, I would ask yourself as you're talking to this person or talk to whoever, how do they communicate? With the changing variety of ways to communicate, when I in the business, right, it's just different, right? When I started in the business, it was a phone call. That was it. Like, you called me up, you came, you sat in my conference room, and we talked face to face. That's just how it was, right? But now there's so many different ways to communicate. There's still face to face, but now people are comfortable talking over the phone and doing most of the information over the phone. There's people that are more comfortable going back and forth in email. And now we got this new way of doing things, and I don't know how new it is, but now I'm catching a lot of people that want me to actually communicate via text. So, and now I believe social media is a different way to communicate. So you want to make sure that when you partner up with the lender, whatever your preferable method of communication is, they're able to accommodate that. Because let's say you are a big person and you want things to do, you want to be able to talk to a person face to face. If their operation is not set up like that, maybe they don't have an office, or maybe they are in a whole different state that you can't get to, whatever it is, that may not be the best person for you. Or maybe because of how you work and your work schedule, that everything has to be done via email or via text or social media in some kind of way. And if that's not how that lender communicates, there's going to be a real struggle of you trying to get your process started, completed, and finished, right? It just is. So you want to ask your question. You want to ask that question as a buyer. Am I communicating, or my communication style going to match the lender's communication style? Also, too, when you're going to communicate. That's super important, right? And we see this a lot, especially with the changing environment of how people work. Some people work from home all day long. They may be able to communicate throughout the day. Some lenders, they work 9 to 5. That's it. So at 5:01, you can't speak to them anymore because they're gone, right? And if you have to be in a position where you can speak to them 9 to 5, that may be a perfect fit. But if whatever job you have or whatever you do, maybe you drive a forklift at a warehouse and you can't talk until 5:01. Well, it's going to be real difficult for you and that lender if y'all schedules are opposite, right? So you want to ask that question up front based on your schedule. If your schedule says I can talk between this time and this time, will a lender be willing to accommodate you based on that too as well, right? Also, too, if you're the type of person and you want to talk to the head man in charge all the time, right? A lot of lenders, because of the amount of paperwork and things like that, they have assistants. They have people that once you have that initial conversation with the lender, with the loan officer, now your file goes over to an assistant. Proficient assistants are so important. But if you're the person, I want to talk to the loan officer and I don't want to talk to anybody else. I only want to share my information with one person at one time, give them the story, give her the story, whatever it is, and then pass that information on. But I still want to have that contact with that person. Well, you need to know, is that how that office operates? Like, I have an assistant as well. Now, does he do this? Does he do that? He does a lot of different things, right? But you need to understand, whoever your lender is, will my file stay with you? Will my file be passed on to somebody else, right? So therefore, you get comfortable in understanding exactly how the process is going to flow, right? And in understanding as a lender, we also got to be able to understand that we're going to examine a lot of your personal information, right? Really, we are, right? So the lender that you select has to be a couple things. They have to be able to coach, right? That's going to be huge, right? Because some people need coaching, some people don't. If you bought 2, 3, 4, 5 houses before, you may not need a coach. You may need somebody to provide you with the best rates possible, and that's it. I got it. I know it. I understand the process. But if that's not you, if you're the person, you say, man, I've never done this before, I don't know anything about it, and I need somebody to help coach. Some lenders are not coaches. They just not. And I don't, I say this, and I'm not saying it because that's a bad thing. They just set up, their business model is a little bit different than a different business model, right? So some people, they provide the best rates. They give you the best rate scenarios, and that's it. Hey, here it is. You figure it out. I got it. I'm moving on to the next customer. Some lenders will stop with each customer and say, hey, let me walk you through. What is homeowners insurance? What is PMI? What does this rate mean? How do I pay my taxes and my insurance? They need that type of coaching. Some lenders provide that, some don't. You need to understand, will your lenders provide that if you need it? And if you don't need it, understand, what are your needs? What are your truly needs? You need a lender that's also trustworthy. A lender that understands where you're coming from. You don't want somebody that's put you in a position to do things that are unethical. And you might say, well, everybody should want that. I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things that you have to make a decision on, and the level of trust that you have with that person. Also, too, understanding, hey, at the end of the day, maybe I want you to share this with my real estate agent. Maybe I don't want you to share certain things with my real estate agent. Maybe I want you to share certain things with my family. Let's say my mom and dad is helping me out with a gift. There's certain things that I want you to say and communicate with them, and certain things that I don't want you to do. And even spouses. I had one the other day. Guy sent me his paperwork. He sent me his bank statement, and he said specifically, call me. Please call me. And I called him up. I thought it was something urgent, and it kind of was to him. He said, sir, I know you provide all this information. Could you please just let me make sure that that bank statement that I sent you, you're the only one that's going to see it outside the underwriter? And I just simply said yes. And I kind of knew what he was saying. He was basically saying he didn't want his wife to see the bank statement. That's on him, and that's how he does business. But you want that type of communication situation with your lender. You want to be responsive. You want your lender to be responsive to all your needs, right? Whatever your needs are, you want to be able to communicate with them. They are in your corner. Let's say you were on trial for a crime, or let's say you're on trial for something that you did, right? You always want to have your lawyer standing right there next to you to present your case to the judge at that particular time, right? You definitely want to do that. And so I akin that to your lender. Your lender is going to present your case to the underwriter who makes the decision on whether or not they're going to give you the mortgage. It is truly important that you have a good relationship with your lender, no different than having a good relationship with your lawyer in that situation, right? Because all we do, and part of our goal is to present you in the best light possible so that the underwriter can make a decision that's favorable for you, right? So at the end of the day, it's super important that you establish a great relationship with somebody that's knowledgeable, not just of all the things associated, but your particular situation, that you can communicate well with. You can communicate with, well with, and I don't know if that's good wording. I don't know if that's good English, but somebody that y'all operate at the same time and y'all operate the same way in terms of communication. So it's super important. A lender that's a teacher, a lender that's going to coach you through if you need it, a lender that's going to provide you the best rates if that's what you need, just a lender that's specific to you. And I would say, at some point, you may even want to interview a lender or two. Agents are going to say, hey, talk to this guy because he can do this, or talk to this young lady because they can do that. But there's no different than interviewing anybody else. Your mortgage, listen to me, guys, your mortgage is going to be the biggest investment in most people's lives that they'll ever have. So that lender has to be one of your key business associates that you recognize and understand that's going to help you acquire and be successful with that particular financial need in your life. Guys, this is Rod C. Ask a Lender. Thank you guys for coming and checking me out again. Y'all have a great one. Talk to you later. If you have any questions, please give us a call. Please reach out to us on social media. Send us an email. And as you all know, my philosophy, everyone and anyone can purchase a house.